September 11th, 2001. (8:46 a.m.) The first World Trade Center tower is hit by American Airlines Flight 11. At 9:03 a.m., the second World Trade Center tower is hit by United Airlines Flight 175. And at 9:37 a.m., the Pentagon is struck by American Airlines Flight 77. At this point, the 40 passengers and crew aboard United Flight 93 have been in contact with their loved ones on plane phones and know that their plane is next, possibly heading to the U.S. Capitol or the White House. You can see here the visitor center for Flight 93 National Memorial. Inside they have artifacts from the crash site, as well as kind of memorializing and telling the story of 9/11 as a whole. We are walking the exact flight route of the crash. Directly above us, a Boeing 757. I know, very hard to believe. Going 563 miles an hour upon impact. Again, right above our heads. The passengers and crew, knowing that their plane was next, fought back and saved hundreds, if not thousands, of lives in Washington, D.C. by their heroic actions right here. And now we have this viewing platform that leads directly to the view of the crash. A common field one day, a field of honor forever. Now this is a very fits the mood, but very foggy, dreary, cold November day here in rural Pennsylvania. So I'll throw up a picture so you can see a little better, but straight ahead you'll see a white memorial that has the names of the 40 passenger and crew aboard, and then behind that is the boulder that marks the site of the crash. Again, this is a Boeing 757 flying along this direct route right above us. It is inverted, flying upside down at this point as chaos in the cockpit loses control of the plane, and then right in front of us it crash lands upside down, almost like this, straight into the earth, makes a huge divot into the ground, and obviously everyone on board dies instantly. This is their final resting place. Now what we're going to do next is head down to the ground level part of the National Memorial here and view the crash site from the ground. So I want to thank you guys for sticking with me here. I know the weather is not ideal, but when you travel to national parks and historic sites, you kind of just have to take what the Lord gives you, especially when you're out on the roads. So again, I just want to thank you guys again, and I'll go ahead and do a smooth little transition here to my view. And I guess the positive of this weather here is it's kind of a unique feel. It's kind of a gloomy, eerie feel that kind of matches the mood of the park, really. And also, we're currently the only ones here at the Memorial Plaza. So got the whole site to ourselves at the moment, so that's kind of nice. Have a sign here detailing the crash site and debris field. So straight ahead, if you can see, and I'll zoom in for you, a boulder that marks where the plane crashed head on. Obviously, a Boeing 757 made a pretty significant dent in the ground. So this is a view of how it looked after the crash. Now see this fence line with the American flag? That fence line used to be where this black wall is now. And there's another look a photo of the boulder. So again, after the crash, we got some deer out there by the boulder as well. After the crash, this whole area to the left of me was a crime scene. I mean, the FBI was very serious about their investigation. They knew that it would be very hard to recover the black boxes from the planes, from the World Trade Centers and the Pentagon. So to quickly be able to study and learn more about the terrorist attacks, they were gung-ho on finding the black box for United 93, and they did find it. But for years, this whole area was fenced off. It is also, this is a cemetery. This is considered the final resting place for the 40 passengers and crew that were aboard the plane. Now, this is the closest we can get to the boulder out there. Family members and loved ones of the victims are allowed inside this wall, but that is it. Along with this being considered their final resting place, a few years ago, the National Park Service was actually able to bring out all of the remains of the crash that were held as evidence for years back in 4 huge shipping containers. And there was actually a private ceremony right out here with family members, again, of the victims. And also first responders were here as well from the day. And they were able to bury all the remains from the shipping containers out in this field. So this truly is the final resting place of those heroes aboard that plane. As we look ahead, that would be the visitor center straight ahead. You might be able to get a shadow of it as we get closer, but with this weather, I was hoping it would clear up as the day went on, but actually it kind of just got worse. But I did record a vertical video this morning, if you guys want to check out, that basically is this, but a little shorter. Here at this point of the wall, we have just a spot where visitors leave coins. We got thank you for your service. Got a United States Marine Corps challenge coin. We got some fire departments. We got a World Series token. Sheriff. So just some mementos left by visitors. The white wall in front of us is the memorial wall. This whole area is considered the Memorial Plaza, but that is the memorial wall, and I will detail that shortly. For a quick second, I guess I'll just detail the rest of the crash. The boulder is literally right in front of us. That is where the plane, again, 757 Boeing, it's really hard to believe. And I wish you could see the visitor center, but we just simply can't. So I'll hopefully throw up a photo. Actually, you know what? You can actually see a little outline of it. So that's the viewing platform we were just at earlier in the video. So that to the boulder is a direct line of the flight path of the crash. So imagine that enormous airplane inverted 563 miles an hour, basically a missile at this point, just straight to there. It's almost impossible to imagine, to be honest with you guys, especially here by myself. I'm trying, and then just the deafening, horrid noise that would have made as well. When the plane crashed, bursts of flames went into the woods and famously burned a bunch of hemlock trees, and I will get more to that here in a second. There we go. We can get a little bit of an outline of the visitor center now. So again, that is the viewing platform that we were just at. There are a lot of trails here. As you can see, there's one there in front of us. There's a trail that goes on the opposite side of where we parked. That's like an inner loop walking trail of the park. There's also a trail that goes through the memorial wall here and then goes back up to the flight path, to the viewing platform, if you're up for a little bit of an uphill hike. And here is the memorial wall. Now, just in case you guys are curious, I'm going to go ahead and walk the whole thing and show all the names. These heroes deserve that in the least. We'll go ahead and give a moment of silence here. And what a nice touch here. I assume by a blood one of Louis Knack II, we have a Superman figure. Very cool, very powerful. So you can see again the shadow of the viewing platform. This is that line with the wall makes a direct line to the boulder. And we'll go ahead and finish the tour here. If you go inside the visitor center, the Superman thing just reminded me there's a lot of mementos from the temporary memorial from the 2000 to 2010 range that are now in the visitor center. And a Superman patch in there actually made me tear up yesterday. Just seeing that figure made me think of it. So here is the gate. I brought up the hemlock trees earlier. This is hemlock, the wood. It also has 40 of these angle cuts throughout the gate. Again, memorializing the 40 on board. And to close straight ahead through the gate, we have the boulder marking the crash site and the resting place of these heroes.